For the people watching at home, this room is at 1/3 capacity, right? So if you hear a laugh, multiply it 3 times in your mind. And remember, you're laughing for 3 people. Thank you. So this story begins with a trigger warning. The trigger warning is for cat lovers. Because in this story, I do one thing to a cat one time, and the cat was fine. It was just fine. And it deserved it. All right, now I am cat positive. I am a cat positive person. If a cat were to walk up to me and say, Jim, slander that dog, I would say, yes, I will. And I would say, hey, everybody, you see that dog right there? Right there, just sitting there, just minding its own business? That dog's an asshole. And then I would just turn to the cat and I would high-five it. So we have that established now? Okay. The cat in this story is a Maine Coon cat. It's about as big as a space heater, and it radiates fur. This is what Maine Coon cats are like. Has anyone here ever had a Maine Coon cat? Okay, I'm sorry for what's about to happen. Listen, if you died alone in your house, thought experiment. If you died alone in your house, not every cat would eat your face. Okay, every cat would eat your face. But a Maine Coon cat would look for a flicker of consciousness so it could watch you watching it eat your face. That's just the vibe on a Maine Coon cat. This Maine Coon cat belonged to my girlfriend, Hannah. Hannah had named the Maine Coon cat Shelley, after Mary Shelley, the author of the novel Frankenstein. And as you all know, this is Beacon, New York, you are very literate. As you all know, the beginning of Frankenstein is an epigram from Milton's Paradise Lost. And it's the part of the story where Adam of Adam and Eve has been expelled from paradise, and he's pissed off at God, and he's talking to God, and he says to God very sarcastically, he says, did I request thee, maker, to mold me man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to promote me? Which, as it happens, was the worldview of Shelley the cat, who would look at me through half-lidded eyes as if to say, I don't have to do anything. I didn't ask to be born, but since I'm born, go get me some fucking liver treats. But Hannah loved her cat. So one day I said to her, Hannah, how can I get on Shelley's good side? And that's when she told me the magic words, liver treats. You've got to become her connect to the dark and delicious world of liver treats. So I went to the store and I got premium liver. They tried to give me regular liver treats, and I knocked it out of their hands. And I said, give me like the goose liver treats. And I took them home and I poured them into her bowl, which you are not supposed to do because they are treats. You don't pour a big pile of them. And so Shelley just went, just ate the whole thing. And a little while later, she thought to herself, I'm about to barf. And then she thought to herself, where does the man keep his shoes? And she went over to my shoes and she filled one up with barf, which is fine. Cats just do that sometimes, and it was kind of my bad. But then she thought, I have like one more ERP left. Where does the man sleep? So she found me in bed, stood over me, and let it go. And as this half-digested liver treat was moving toward my face, I like to think that I was dreaming about the United States Supreme Court. Here's why. Hannah, my girlfriend, her grandfather was a Supreme Court justice. Her mother was a model. Her father was a lawyer for a giant corporation. Her family lived in a double-wide townhouse on the Upper East Side. I grew up in Yonkers, New York. Here's what people on the Upper East Side know about Yonkers, New York. It's kind of over there, and it's embarrassing. But in my dream, I really did have this dream. I saw all of the members of Hannah's family, her wealthy and powerful family, embracing me warmly. Sigmund Freud has a phrase for this. It's called wishful thinking. There's the thing that you wish for, and it's happening, but only in your dreams. So here's how I met Hannah in the first place, considering where she was from and I was from. She graduated Dartmouth College, and she enacted a mini rebellion against her family. And she got a job at this sort of hippie-ish outdoor adventure travel company. And they assigned her to lead a canoe trip for teenagers. And her co-leader was me. And I thought I was good at this outdoor stuff. Hannah was so much better. Hannah could play Nova Scotian sea shanties on a harmonica. Hannah could tie 50 types of nautical knots. And given my psychosexual makeup, her roping skills were very appealing to me. That's a parenthetical. That's not germane to the story. So, for 2 weeks, we were in each other's presence the whole time. Everything she did, she excelled at. The kids loved her. And as we're waving goodbye to the last kid, she turned to me and she said, "Okay, now you can kiss me." And then after that, we spent a lot of time together. And over the months, I had no idea this was happening. Her family slowly freaked out. Until one morning, I'll never forget this, it was a Saturday morning, I get a phone call from Hannah's sister. Hannah has told me about this sister, so I can sort of smell the wine on her breath through the phone. And she begins with a passive-aggressive interrogation of me. And after a while, she drops the passive, and she says, "So the family is just wondering how long you plan to keep on holding Hannah back." I did not have an answer to this question, so I said goodbye. And then I said to Hannah, "Hannah, am I holding you back?" And she laughed. But she didn't say no. And then a few weeks later, I went to her apartment where we were supposed to meet up and then go out to dinner. And I was there. She was a little late, which was very unlike her. And the phone rang. It was her calling to cancel our dinner plan because she was going to stay that night with her family. And then she hung up. And I turned to our empty bed, and there was Shelly the cat in her shoebox on the bed, the shoebox she sat in every day like Catherine the Great on her fucking throne. And I just realized that this cat had come to symbolize for me everything about this family. So I went over and I crouched down and I placed my hand against the back of the shoebox. Calm down. Just write it out, okay? And I said, how's it going, Shelly? As I slowly began to push the shoebox. And Shelly looked at me like, the commoner, he speaks to me, why? I might be paraphrasing, but that was the energy. As I subtly, there's Gaster, keep pushing the shoebox. I said, Shelly, you having all your needs met? You having a good day? As I push the shoebox. And then across her face comes this look of terrible recognition. As the shoebox reaches the edge and tips. And as she's going down, she looks at me like, no, this is not happening. I know people. I could have you killed. But gravity takes all 20 pounds of her and hurls her 2 feet to the carpeted floor, where she's fine. She's just fine. She runs away and calls her lawyer. And to be absolutely clear, Hannah was nothing but honorable to me throughout our entire relationship. She never led me on. I was starry-eyed. I was 23. Met her on a camping trip. And the funny thing is, well, what I should say is, when I look back now, I can see that her family was always going to pull her back in. Like gravity. I didn't really have a chance. But I actually now really like Maine Coon cats. I honestly do, and I'll tell you why. Maine Coon cats have problems with people. I relate to that. And who among us, at some point in our lives, maybe more than once, hasn't looked into the eyes of someone we trust to feel the shoebox falling out from under us? I have a scar here from Shelly's claws as she fell. And I notice it sometimes, and it reminds me of Hannah and of me at 23. And when I got it, it was painful. But now, it's just a part of me. Thank you.
Jim O'Grady, everyone.